Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. So today is April 29th, 2021, and we are now on the other side of the Africa special. Ratings are coming in. Almost 100,000 people, I think, watched it or knew about it today, and we had a very high peak watch rate. There were a lot of watching parties that happened, so we'll stitch together the numbers, but it's really amazing to see. This is our most popular show we've ever done in the history of Cardano. We receive well wishing, everything from former heads of state to ambassadors to ministries, and really just absolutely amazing to see the outpouring of support and love, as well as well wishing for the mission and for the activities. So that's just incredible. And I have a heartfelt thank you to the entire team that put the production of the Africa special together. They had very limited time, less than 3 weeks, to put that show together, and they had to coordinate filming people throughout Africa, Rwanda and Tanzania, Cape Town, South Africa, Ethiopia. And the time of COVID, getting camera crews around and getting people schedules synchronized was just extraordinary. So thank you so much, Dominic Hicks and Adam Bates and Tim Harrison and Danelle Patel and John O'Connor and the many others who came together to get this done. I'm just so incredibly proud of them. And the community obviously loved it. It's great. David Orr is going to do a mini Africa special. So, 5-10 minutes long, highlighting all the announcements and the various things that were done for those of you who don't want to spend the 2 hours of time looking through the whole thing. Although I highly recommend, if you have 2 hours, do it. Long form is great. Media response was incredible as well. We were interviewed by the Financial Times, Cointelegraph. My Lord, they actually covered it, and it was good. City AM, New York Times, and dozens of others. And more news will come trickling out. Notably absent, I can't see it right now. I don't know if they're going to cover or not. I didn't check my media list. Is Coindesk. In fact, the deputy managing editor had a very strange tweet. I got it right here, where he said, "We exist in a market where the New York Times is less scrupulous about crypto partnership news than the industry publications." And that's Zach Seward. Apparently, having the minister appear on camera talking about the relationship, the official government channels tweeting about the relationship, and major publications like the New York Times is not good enough for this editor at Coindesk for an official announcement of a relationship. We did have a press release as well, and I believe April 6th, the agency we use probably did reach out to Coindesk. Maybe he just wasn't aware, because Coindesk is such a large, important organization, that this deal had happened and the nature of it, and decided just to talk about it on Twitter. It's part of a broader problem in the cryptocurrency space. There's really this bizarre juxtaposition where there are some who are very polite and treat us with respect and dignity. And those are normal, well-functioning human beings. And when we talk to The Economist or the New York Times or the Financial Times or large corporations, we get treated with respect and dignity. And we have great, productive conversations, not always converging to some understanding or a deal, but we, at the very least, treat each other like humans. Then there are some people in the cryptocurrency space who, in the face of overwhelming evidence, have decided to respond to that by treating us like dirt. I'm sorry, that to assert that we would lie about a relationship like this as a news agency and a representative of that, 5 million people is not a small commitment, sir. That's larger than the population of a lot of small countries. That's larger than the population of a lot of US states. That's a big deal. And that's going to grow over time. And this is the first country to do something like this. It didn't happen in the United States. It didn't happen in Germany. It happened, of all places, Ethiopia, which is a tremendous piece of news for the adoption of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. You might not like it because you think I'm an asshole or Cardano is in some way inferior technology to Ethereum, but it is newsworthy. And the only response is to assert that we've lied, as if we're a drive-by-night operation, even though we've been around for a long time, have big community. to have people appear on prominent podcasts and say nothing has been done or accomplished. Again, you might not like the project or think the things that we've spent our time on are substandard or not worth that time, but to assert that nothing was done or that Cardano's a blatant scam, it's bizarre. And this is not how a normal industry works. Apple doesn't wake up and say the products Microsoft builds are fraudulent or scams. They say that our products are better. Google doesn't wake up and say that the products that Apple and Microsoft make are fraudulent or they're scams or the CEOs of those companies are criminals. They say our products are better, and here's why. Yet the people who compete with us or could partner with us in this nascent industry have decided to now cross that threshold in the face of overwhelming evidence and accuse us of being criminals, accuse us of being dishonest. In some cases, representatives of media agencies. I've never worked in an industry where this is the case, and it just makes me wonder if the people who maintain these positions are qualified to hold them and truly understand the magnitude of the allegations they levy. We go to work every day. It's hard work. And if you watch the Africa special, you'll see the passion, the excitement, and the profound amount of investment that has gone into these endeavors. Now, it's a commercial enterprise with a social good behind it. We believe the path we're taking is going to be successful, but there's always a chance of failure. That said, everybody who's involved is signed up for the long haul, including our community, and there's goodwill there. And what we have done with this Africa special is announced to the entire blockchain world that 5 million people will be given decentralized identifiers, DIDs, interoperable with the DID standards that are being deployed on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other systems, in addition to Cardano. We just brought 5 million people into our industry. This is good for us all. Whether you like me or not, you think I'm a piece of human trash, but yet the response by people who occupy prominent roles in certain places in this industry are to pretend like it didn't happen, diminish it, attack it. Grow up. Have some maturity. I say harsh things on Twitter from time to time. I tell people to go fuck themselves from time to time, especially when I feel that those people have been blatantly unfair and dishonest. I never do it to defend myself. If a person goes to Twitter and says, I'm fat and ugly and a horrible human being, great. Good for them. You'll notice I only do it to defend others or the Cardano project or my company, especially in matters of where people have made tremendous personal sacrifice to accomplish the things that we've done. You don't know how many lost weekends, missed birthdays, missed anniversaries, overtime work over the last several years has gone into the creation of Cardano and the things that we've done commercially, the deals we've negotiated. Each and every one of those people who went the extra mile deserves better than some person who is in our industry who should occupy some degree of humility and respect to be shitposted and told that the totality of the things that they've done in the public domain is nothing. It's not like we're hiding all this. It's not like we're claiming that there's some secret place where all the code gets committed and all the papers are written and trust us, one day it's going to be released. You just go to our website and look at the paper library. You go to ePrint and search for the scientists' last names. You go to Google. You go to GitHub and do a basic search and look at the 300 repositories. You go to cardanoupdates.com and see how we're number one for GitHub commits. This is all done in the open domain for everyone to see. And that doesn't matter by these purported experts. And I hold journalists to a higher standard. I hold project founders to a higher standard because they control the minds and capital and attention of many innocent people who are just trying to sort out fact from fiction. And when these lies happen, What do you do about it? People say turn the other cheek, but that can be very damaging to a project because a perception will develop, and then that perception becomes reality. People believe that it's a ghost chain. People believe that nothing's been done. It's very hard to change people's minds. If someone hears that election fraud has happened or a vaccine has a quantum dot and mercury in it, and even though it doesn't, they'll just believe it. And then they'll tell all their friends that. And the amount of damage that does commercially to the adoption of the project, the growth of the project is catastrophic. Just look at the Dominion Voting Company. They're right now suing the people who spent months for $1.6 billion for slander and fraud, slander and libelous action, fraudulent statements to courts and otherwise in the media. The defense of these people isn't, we have evidence that you did it. It's, well, it was hyperbole. It was puffery. No one reasonable person would have believed the things we said anyway. There's no accountability because the damage is done. If you poll certain groups of people, meaningful percentages now believe that company actually committed election fraud. So when you allow these things to persist in the open domain, where people say these types of things, they cause damage to a project, in some cases, irreparable damage to a project amongst certain demographics. There are some who will never, in the entire life and history of Cardano, use Cardano because of preconceived notions and beliefs. It's an open ecosystem. The things we've accomplished, whether you love me or hate me as a person, are here to stay. I could go outside and get in my car, get hit by a truck, and be dead. Tomorrow, Cardano still operates. The roadmap still goes on. The technology is still there and free to use. But because of a blind hatred, I don't know where it's from, but a blind hatred for me, for my company, and for the past, there are some people that believe that Cardano will just magically disappear and it can never be a viable, real project. We just announced the largest blockchain deal in the history of our industry, at least to my knowledge. And certainly if it's not the largest, it's one of the largest. 5 million people, that's a big deal. And there are some who won't believe it, who claim otherwise, refuse to cover it out of spite and hatred. And it hurts the whole industry. We're here to stay. Get used to it. Every single week, the caravan moves on. We're going to bring millions more into Cardano. And one day we're going to wake up and have hundreds of millions of users. And before I die, over 1 billion. The sun will never set on this protocol. And this protocol is now fully decentralized in terms of block production, which means no one is able to do a damn thing about it, whether you love me or hate me. So this is a message to you, those who are the haters, those who are the deniers, those who refuse in overwhelming evidence to acknowledge that we exist. Thanks for doing that, because all you've done is discredit yourself, told the world who not to listen to, just like those who said the internet's going to die, and given us a lot more fire and passion to keep moving forward. We're doing this because we're changing the world. We have hope. I'm tired of reading negative articles on New York Times and Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post and all these other places about how bad the world is. All the things that are wrong. Scandal this, scandal that, systemic this, social this, warming that. I, for once, would like to be in a position where we can wake up and make the news instead of reading the news, and it's good news. We can wake up and realize that we're lifting people up. We're giving them new systems. We're helping them achieve greater things. And you know what? A lot of people are now on board for that rise. Millions of people in the Cardano ecosystem believe in that too. So this is now a movement. And it's a movement of positivity. It's a movement of empathy. It's a movement where we have faith that we can get there, even if the path isn't clear at times, even if there are huge challenges, even if we have to take the longer road at times. What else are we going to do with our lives? What else is more meaningful than this work and the places that we go? After all, this is our world, right? We have to live in it. And wouldn't you rather live in a world where all the headlines are nice instead of a world where all the headlines are bad? Wouldn't you rather live in a world with transparency and honesty and systems that behave predictably, reliably, and with integrity than a system mired in opacity and corruption and chaos? Wouldn't you live in a world with peace instead of war? And the people in this movement are committed to that. They're committed to making the world a better place. They wake up every day with this anticipation. So, in essence, I suppose if we said this concisely, ours is a war on cynicism. And it's a movement based upon a desire to do better for all, not just a few. Today was a major milestone in demonstrating not to just our industry, because to be frank, I think we've outgrown them now, to the world, that this is something real and it's going to happen, which is why the New York Times covered it. And it's why other mainstream media is covering it, but our industry is ignoring it. They're so obsessed and focused with Dogecoin and the price of the day, so obsessed and focused on personalities and wars and fights of this person versus this person, that they've lost sight of the true meaning of the technology that we have all become custodians of. It is to give the world new systems. And that's what we're doing. And you know what? There's going to be a lot more Africa specials from time to time. And every time they'll get bigger and grander, and every time more diverse and more interesting. There'll be them in French and in other languages, because the world speaks more than English, and there's more to say. And the wonders that will be built over the next 3 to 5 years by this movement will truly change things. And at some point, none of it matters anymore, because this becomes what matters. This becomes the standard. I'm just truly sad that it's been so hard. It's extraordinary to have to wake up every day and feel like you have balls and chains on your legs, things that shouldn't be hard, allies you should have, you don't have. And I guess that's just the way it's going to be. It prepares us for the bigger fights to come. So to all of you who are with us, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for believing that we can change the world together. And so those of you who ignore us, lament us, hate us, criticize us, you no longer matter. That's what we proved today. Cardano is not a cryptocurrency project. Cardano is a world operating system. And every single day, as we gain millions and millions of users, we're going to remind you of that. And as a world operating system, we play a different game and in a different industry. Thanks for leveling up. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for the love, passion, faith, and support. Let's get this done together. Cheers.